What's up? Need to buy on the stream yet, so we'll be right back. Ooh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. Let's see here. How are we doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good. All righty. Let's get this chat started. Oop, we got 1 more minute left, so let's get the people in. Let's get the people in. Let's get the people in. Probably nobody yet, but there we go. Okay, get off my screen. Thank you. All right. This is fun. This is fun. Let's put my microphone down right quick. You know what? Okay, let's just go ahead and get started. Hi, everyone. My name is Tanisha. I am the host of Wellness Through Reading. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my first ever live here on YouTube. I am super excited for this. This is one of my goals, is to get more doing lives and being on streaming and whatnot. So here we are. I honestly thought I actually needed 1,000 subscribers to do this, but I did not. So here we are. All right. So what's going to happen today? What basically I'm going to do is talk about 11 tips on how to keep reading a daily habit, but also I'll be talking about the books I'm currently reading, and also I'm going to be talking about what's on my TBR next and what's to come for this channel. So let's just dive right in. Now, you probably hopped on this thing because you're interested in knowing, what are the steps. I want to read more, but how? What should I do? All right, so let's just dive right into the 11 steps on how to do more reading. Actually, before we even do that, let me do a little story time. I really got back into doing more reading as an adult because especially going back to 2020 during the pandemic, it was hard, I think, on everybody. I needed a way to escape. And I just remembered how much I used to love reading as a kid. So I literally went from reading like 0 books to maybe 1 or 2 books a year as an adult to now reading over 50 books a year using these tips. So let's start off with tip number 1. It's just finding the me time. Whatever time that is, if it's in the morning, if it's in the evening, finding that me time that says, you know what, this is my time dedicated for me to read. Let me get my water, my coffee, whatever type of drink you want, and just grab a book and just read. And, it's just, I know it's hard. I mean, as an adult, it's hard to find the time to just sit down and read, but there's times all throughout the day, whether it's during your lunch break, whether it's, right before you go to bed. Actually, most studies even say it's better to go read before you go to bed because that'll help with your sleep. That's typically what I do. So, all right, step number 2, a social media detox. Once a week, get off all your social media accounts, get off all of your Instagrams, whatever, and just read. Now, I mean, obviously, I have a YouTube channel, so that's counterproductive. But typically, what I do on Wednesday afternoons is when I just take that time off for myself and I just read. I put on some lo-fi music on YouTube and I just read. Here's some statistics for you. Well, no, let's just keep going. Television detox. Yeah, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I spend way too much time staring at the idiot box, and I need to get off it, and I need to do some more reading as well too from that. Honestly, I actually just went ahead and just counted how many times I got on the TV, and I was like, "Am I really listening to this? Am I really watching this?" No. Turn your TVs off. Have a television detox. It's like your social media detox, and instead of picking up the remote, pick up a book. So that's number 3, television detox. Let me look at my news. We are breezing through these. Oh, number 4. And it's kind of an easy one. I mean, these tips are really all kind of duh. But you would think, kind of easy. Obviously, social media detox takes some time away to read. Television detox takes some time away. Finding the me time, obviously. Writing it out in a planner, whatever you got to do. But then we come to the 4th one, which is keep a book close by. Whether it's actually a physical book, on a Kindle, whatever, just do it. Keep your book nearby. That way, when you're at the doctor's office, if you take the bus to and from work or school, you have something to read. And there's that time to read. There you go. So, you can't read if you don't have it with you, right? So yeah, If you want to invest in a Kindle and keep that with you, do that as well too. And moving on to number 5. Now, this step is one that I find very difficult because I am the type of person that I like to finish what I start. But it's okay to DNR a book, and DNR basically means did not finish. If you're reading a book and it's not gelling with you, it's not your thing, just put it back on the shelf. Go take it back to the library if you check it out of the library, or just put it away, or just give it to someone else that might like something like what they're reading. All right, number 6 is if you're stuck in a reading rut and it's like, oh my goodness, every single book that I've been reading has just been a DNR, 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 try a different genre, try a different author, try something new, expand your horizon. If you've been reading horror for the past couple months of type books and it's not working out for you, try romance, try thriller, try a murder mystery, try something else, try something new. You never know. For me, I was always reading murder mysteries and I was getting sick of them. So instead, I tried a romance, and now it's like I can't stop reading love about it. You know, there you go. So then we go on to number 7. Now, this is a point that I really could really recommend. If you find a book that you absolutely love, figure out what other books that author has also author has also written as well too. Because it's lightning in a bottle. If you find that one book is something that you like, if the writing that the author is doing, it's only natural that you might like another one of theirs. So there you go, and you have more books added to your TBR list. And number 8, creating space to read. Now, if y'all have noticed, I'm in this big old pink comfy chair right here. This is like my reading space. I take this chair with me wherever I go, and it's just signals to my brain, okay, Tanisha, it's time to read. Time to shut everything off and read. Creating, literally, some people just need an actual spot in their homes to just read. And, light a good candle, create a nice warming environment, and just start reading. Or, well, this one's gonna be kind of hard because if you live in the United States, it's basically a frozen zone right now because everywhere is freezing cold. But in like the spring and the summer, change of scenery. Go outside and read. Especially on those really hot days. I remember because I live in Washington State, not the DC, the state, the one on the other corner, and we had that blistering hot days, and it was just like unbearable. I just went outside and sat on the front porch and read. That way I got a nice breeze in the house too, but also, get that good vitamin D. All right. We are breezing through these. How y'all doing on the chat? And let's see. Oh, also, get a good reading journal. That is one that I am just very much key on. I am talking about it on the channel all the time. Get a good reading journal. A reading journal is basically where you keep documentation of all the books you read, the books you want to read, and all the book reviews. A brief little summarization of the books that you love, maybe you didn't love, why you didn't love them. And for me, I'm a kinesthetic learner. I need to play with what I'm learning. So there. Also, just be patient and kind with yourself as well too. Um, Good habits take a while. I think research actually says it takes 30 days to develop a new habit. So it's going to take a minute. You might fall off one day, pick it back up the next day. Don't be too hard on yourself. This is supposed to be fun. Reading is supposed to be fun and enjoyable. And also, I know because we are all about reading daily, but if you feel just burned out from reading, it's okay to take a day or two to just take a break. Maybe you read something that was really heavy on your heart and you're like, I just need a minute. Take the time to. This is supposed to be a fun, enjoyable habit. It's not a chore. And there you have it. 11 tips to keep reading a daily habit. So now that we have all those tips out of the way, which ones are you going to start implementing in your life? Comment below which ones maybe you already do or you are going to do. But now that we have those tips out of the way on how we keep reading a daily habit, what do we read? Well, here's what I'm currently reading. Where are my books at? Oh, my first one, The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store. This is the thing, right? As an adult, I just want to read this more and more. I am in love with this book. It basically talks about a like upper, not upper, like lower middle class community in Pottstown, Pennsylvania. Basically, there's been a murder. In the beginning part of this, there was a murder, and we're trying to figure out who done did it. So we start from the end of we know the body's there, who killed him. So we're going back to the beginning of it all and figuring out who did it. And so we're going back into the neighborhoods and everything. It's just I really can't give most weight. I'm still reading it, but I'm loving it. It's a really good read already, and I best believe once I'm finished, I will be doing a book review on this one. And then the next book we got. Now this one, I'm not gonna lie, it's more of a reread than an actual read. It's Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I saw this on Book Talk, and for the longest time, I was like, I'm not sure I want to read this. I'm not really a fantasy person, but I mean, all the memes stuff that I saw on TikTok, I was like, you know what? I'll give it a try. And I'll read the first chapter, and I was stuck. I could not stop reading this book. It was just so good. And I think it's so interesting that this book has. Like, there's some people who absolutely love it, and there's some people who absolutely hate it. Now, here's the thing: people that I find, that I see, they commenting on how much they just can't stand this book. Uh, I get it. I mean, it's not for everyone. I mean, how I would like to describe it is that if you're a romance reader who just loves that genre, this is an introduction to the world of fantasy. That's kind of how I feel like it's read, really. But so if you're like a diehard fantasy reader, you're not gonna like this because there's a lot more romance than fantasy, if you will. There. I mean, okay, so basically the main plot, we have our protagonist, Violet Sorrengail, who is entering into a war college of dragons. A military war college of dragons. A military war college to get a dragon. I mean, come on. I mean, we start off with her going to her mother, who is like the general of this college as well, to end up the army. And she's basically wanting, because she's grew up wanting to be a scribe all her life, but her mother is forcing her into the writer's quadrant. So we learn about the different quadrants, we learn about this world that she's building. And what I love about it is that typically in most fantasy books, what happens is that you are the setting is in a homely kind of place, and then we move to a different location. No, the action is all right there from page one. You're just thrusted into the action, and you just go, and that's what I really like about it. It's super easy to read. I mean, honestly, I was halfway through the book, but on day one that I got this, so I had to kind of go back and reread some things, like wait, what. But yes, I got this in July, and then the second Iron Flame came out in, was it November of last year? And I'm currently rereading this one as well too. And again, just like with Fourth Wing, this one had a lot of yays and nays as far as people liking it, not liking it, all that stuff. And honestly though, at first I didn't like it. I'm not gonna lie. It's taken a couple of rereads for me to be like, okay, now I get it. I think the reason why for me I was hard for me to get into because I was expecting another Fourth Wing. I was expecting for that, but y'all understand. I did not realize that Rebecca Yarros, the author, did a excuse me. She did a interview where basically she was just stating that um, these two books are a 5-book series, and that's when it dawned on me, okay, whenever a book like this is in a series, best believe there's going to be a book or two that's going to be kind of slower. It's going to be a lot of character building. It's going to be a lot of adding to the world, and it's going to be a lot of that, and it's going to be just kind of slower than the others. It doesn't mean that the series as a whole is bad, because both these books are a part of what they call the Imperium series, and the Imperium is basically the dragon's leadership, so of this world. So there. And that's why I say just give it a chance, people. Like, honestly, as I'm going back and rereading it, and I'm okay, that's what I missed. Because honestly, I'm not gonna, I was just so excited just to get it and have it. I read it in one sitting. So, and I'm pretty sure that's not how Rebecca Yarros wanted us to read this. Just being fair. So, I mean, as I'm kind of taking my time now, reading a couple of chapters a day, taking my patience with it, it's like, now I'm okay. That's what I missed. That's what I missed. but makes no sense. Okay. I totally missed that part. I totally missed the honestly I don't want to say much more because I want you to read it too because I want you to give it a chance because we're how we end up with fourth ring. Oh, the cliffhanger on that one. Woo! We pick right back up. They go back to the college and we find out. So this government is very corrupt. It's very greedy, but they're not that greedy for long. And the cliffhanger on this one. Yeah, I'm told I will definitely be buying book three when it comes out. But until then, I'm gonna just keep rereading these. And yes, I consider a reread a read because you're still reading. So I also have an audiobook as well too. Both of them. So yeah, that those. I mean, yes, I am a multi-book reader. Sometimes I just need a break from reading something new to something old. I need to keep my mind busy. So that's what I'm currently reading. But what's on the TBR list for me? So up next on deck is the I Don't Give Up. The subtle art of not giving up. Mm, a counter approach to living a good life. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time. It's a self-help book, but it's a shorter one, so I'm like, you know what? I'll give it a try. After I finish these other ones as well too. I can't read that many books at one time. And also what's on the TBR list, I've been starting and stopping this book. It's Will by Will Smith. Yes, I know he's done some pretty like some pretty bad things, but you know what? I'm not gonna write him off. I still love Will. I still love Fresh Prince. I still love his music. I still love his movies. I mean, probably one of my favorite Will Smith movies is oh my god, what's that film called? I Robot. That was one of my favorites that he did. And also, what was the one with the aliens? And not the aliens. There was the disease one. I Am Legend. Ooh, he he should have won us something for that. That was good. He did. That was good. So this one right here, it's just he talks about his life growing up in Philly, how he became the first rapper to be nominated and win a Grammy, how he went broke because he bought pay his taxes. He goes through all of it, his marriages, and how he just kind of felt like a failure because he didn't protect his mother from the abuse that his father did. He goes through all of that. I mean, you could definitely tell this man's been through some therapy, and you know what? He's a work in progress, just like all of us. So I'm willing to give it a chance. Also, I am listening to it on audiobook, and he talks in his own voice. So you gotta love for it. I mean, I love this book, and I can't wait to keep reading once I finish these other books as well too. So there. Alrighty, well then, that's all I got for you today. I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more of these live streams here on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to stay updated when new episodes are uploaded. Also, I'll be also posting a episode on Wednesday. It's going to be a read with me session. So stay tuned for that. Yeah, like I said, on Wednesdays, I typically like to just turn out all my social media stuff and just read. So I know this is kind of true because I told you to turn off your social media, but I want to do a read with me session. Basically, it's not going to be a lot of dialogue. It's not going to be none of that. It's just going to be a book, me sitting in a chair reading with some music in the background. So I encourage you to join with me as well. I'll probably post that around 6 o'clock p.m. And yeah. And as always, I thank you so much for tuning in. I wish you all good wellness and good reading and good night. Bye.